Welcome to the Mayor's Show, and today, as always, we have an incredible guest here today. It's a public service announcement, just not one, but many, of how we work. PennDOT works with us in some instances, but with us today we have Eugene Blaum, who is the assistant to the district executive in District 6. Gene, welcome aboard.
Mayor, thank you for having me on the show.
Good to have you here today.
PennDOT this opportunity to be on your program.
Right. So we're going to talk a lot about PennDOT, how it works, give you an idea of what PennDOT does, and in some instances how we work together here in Bensalem with PennDOT. So I guess we'll start out. Give us an overview, Gene.
Well, the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, Mayor, is the fifth. PennDOT manages the fifth largest state highway system in the country. We have nearly 40,000 miles of state highway across the state. Third in bridges with 25,000 bridges. PennDOT's got about 12,000 employees statewide, and as I said, maintains the fifth largest state highway system in the country. It's broken into 11 engineering districts. So I work in what's called District 6, which is part of what Bensalem is in. So District 6, we are responsible for the state highway system here in Philadelphia, Bucks, Chester, Delaware, and Montgomery counties. About 3,600 miles of roadway.
A lot of traffic in those in southeast here.
That's congestion is something we all deal with, Mayor, and it's one of our biggest, obviously, obstacles that we face on a daily basis. I think we were speaking previously. Our southeastern region is basically 7% of the landmass of the state, but we have 33% of the population and 24% of registered vehicles.
Oh, wow. Don't realize this. You know, that's why I'm glad you're here to tell us some of these things that we can't conceive.
So we have a small amount of land with a lot of people because it's a very desirable place to live and work. And we have, obviously, anyone traveling through the five-county region realizes that traffic congestion is something that they deal with daily, as do we. But that's why we're working daily to try to improve our state highway system.
All right. And let's talk a little bit about the infrastructure of. Let's talk about in Bensalem what's going on. Some of the things. There's many. A lot of roadblocks right now, not roadblocks, but a lot of construction going on.
Yes, there is, Mayor. And Bensalem has 65 miles of state highway through your township. And there is, right now, you've got two major corridors under construction, I-95 and Route 1. I'll start with I-95 because it's winding down. It's nearing completion. It's over $36 million improvement of I-95 from the Philadelphia line to the Scudder's Falls Bridge. The final work that's being done right now is in your township, basically for the southbound side from Street Road to the Philadelphia County line. The concrete patching is basically completed, and now it's just the final resurfacing, and that job should be all done by early fall.
By early fall?
By early fall, yeah. We have
We're almost there.
That's exactly right. We got about another month. Then we'll be out of your hair on I-95. The Route 1 project, a major investment that you've been involved with for many years. It's broken into three contracts right now, and the first contract into construction is in your township, basically from Old Lincoln Highway to just north of the Turnpike interchange. It's a $97 million investment. Began last October, is on schedule to finish in fall of 2022. People have asked, why does it take so long to rebuild 1.3 miles of roadway? Because we're maintaining the same amount of lanes on the road while rebuilding it, 2 lanes of traffic in each direction. The finished product will be 3 lanes in each direction. There'll be new bridges over the Turnpike Toll Plaza, and over Street Road. We know drainage is just such an issue that we're dealing with in Bensalem and everywhere, especially with these massive rainstorms that we have. There's 22,000 linear feet of new drainage pipe being installed just in that 1.3 mile section. So there's a lot of drainage improvements being made. 5 retention basins are going to be built to control the water, and a new bridge over on Bristol Road. The bridge over
that comes
over
out
Route 1.
Next year, I believe, right?
Well, right now the contract it was phased in the last year of construction. It's going to be done during the summer. And it's a very tight schedule. 79 days the contractor is going to have to replace that Bristol Road Bridge. It's right now targeted for summer of 2022. The contractor has just submitted an option to PennDOT, or an alternative to PennDOT, to replace the bridge next summer. To do it next summer will take about 4 or 5 months off the completion date. It'll get the job done faster. And so that is something an alternative the department's going to consider and investigate, and also do it in coordination with Ben Salem, because obviously that has an impact on your on the roadways in your township. So it's something that's been submitted to us, so it might be advanced to next summer, and that's something that we're taking under consideration now.
Okay, how about, well, the other roads? I know one that we've been working on together is the Columbus Country Club at State Road, and a lot being done on State Road. We worked together to put the pipe in. You gave us the pipe, and certainly the township has put the pipe in. It's in already. It's done. So we coordinate together there, and State Road is a lot being done. So why don't you address that? Sure.
That's State Road. Obviously, Mayor, you called a meeting with ourselves, Senator Tomlinson, Representative DiGirolamo, department last December due to the ponding and severe flooding that was occurring on that state road in the area of Columbus Country Club. So working in partnership with the township and our elected officials, the department initially, we dug a relief channel along the riverside of State Road to help drain the water, and then department, we provided, as part of our partnership deal, over 1,000 feet of the 24-inch plastic pipe, which the township then just recently installed through the country club to improve the drainage. So that was basically the initial phase. The second phase was that PennDOT committed to doing a hydraulic and drainage study of the area in question on State Road, basically between Street Road and American Drive.
Okay.
And that study, Mayor, basically it's nearing completion, and the department will be doing its final review of it, and then we will be providing the study to the township, and then following up with a meeting with yourself and the other officials.
Good. And how about State Road itself? It's being resurfaced,
yes,
isn't it?
It's going to be a plan for resurfacing. About 4.7 miles of State Road is planned PennDOT for resurfacing from Station Avenue to the bridge over Otter Creek, basically almost the entire length. And that was scheduled to be done here in 2019, but there's some private development work taking place.
Yes, on a new company up on up north towards Totem Road.
I think it's a little south of the area of the country club.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a new development that's going in.
Right.
So that is not going to be finished in time for our contractor to come in. Basically, we want to be able to do the entire corridor. So that will be done in spring of 2020. So that's going to be
coming up. That's
yes,
pretty soon.
Yes, that'll be 2020.
And I think there's some work being done around that new housing company. They've widened the road there, and they're going to put their basin and everything, and that I think is going to be part of the surface, the new surface.
Right. And the road pavement has been deteriorating, and so that's going to be a real quality improvement on State Road, for motorists traveling in that area.
How do we get up with the projects? How do they determine? I know I go through it a lot because we have a 12-year. We had to be on the tip for 12 years and a lot. But give us the real deal, how it works and how it's supposed to work.
Right. How it works is that PennDOT works directly with the county planning commissions, and we're talking about capital projects, major road and bridge improvements. So PennDOT works with the Bucks County Planning Commission, Chester County, Montgomery, the 5 county planning commissions, all work then through the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, which is the designated metropolitan planning organization for southeastern Pennsylvania. And every 2 years, they develop what's called the TIP, the Transportation Improvement Program. That's a 4-year funding program, and that is determined based on the amount of federal and state dollars that is going to be allocated to the Philadelphia region. PennDOT here in District 6, we get about 25 to 30% of the state allocation for highway and bridge improvements. And then DVRPC, through the planning commissions, they prioritize the projects and determine which of those projects are going to be funded. It's like that's how the Route 1 project came to be, but it had to wait its turn.
Yeah.
It did. It just and many projects do. So when you're on the tip, you're on for some phase, whether it's the preliminary engineering, just basically the start of the project, getting through the preliminary engineering environmental phase, or through the final design, the final engineering phase, which also includes right-of-way acquisition, utility relocation, and then the final phase is the construction. And then PennDOT then has what's called the 12-year program. So every project that's on the region's tip, the 4-year, that's on the first 4 years of the program. That means their projects are active and they're funded. If you're on the second or the third year of the PennDOT's 12-year program, you're on the program, but money hasn't been identified. at this point in
Well,
time.
if you recall, we did a connector road between Bridgewater and Galloway up there. We worked on that a good 11 years. That was a work together. The township got everything, and PennDOT built it after we did all the engineering, and PennDOT actually built it. So anybody's out there, it's a great connector road, and it's helping out a great deal, but it takes a long time.
It does. These projects don't move quickly. Basically, it's a very detailed and comprehensive environmental clearance phases every project has to go through, and the larger the project, the more involved it is. I want to point one thing about the connector project that you talked about. When a municipality comes forward for a project support and says, we will contribute to this, we will contribute engineering dollars, we will handle the preliminary phases, PennDOT, and hand you the plans to build it, those projects have a very strong chance of getting funded because the municipality has come forward for not only just their vocal support of it, but with financial support.
Yeah, well, I know. We've done it a few times here in intersections here in Ben Salem.
Yes.
Got them constructed, and it's so important. I think you said it earlier about how much traffic, how many people in a small area, and certainly we have it here in the southeast. I mean, it's just incredible. I can't get on 95 without getting clogged up at some point. It's just so much traffic and construction, obviously going on.
And the needs in our region and not only our region, but across the state of Pennsylvania, far outweigh the available financial resources to handle them, to deal with them at the present time.
Yeah, look, we deal with it every day. You hear from me. I'm sure you're hearing from every other municipality. We hear it from our constituents. So we try working as hard as we can to get things done with PennDOT, and we have a good working cooperation.
Absolutely.
So.
But another example is I-95 in Philadelphia, which I know many of your viewers and your customers and clients will travel daily, and their constituents. We're rebuilding 8 miles of I-95, basically from Spring Garden Street, just north of the Vine Expressway, to Cottman Avenue. 8 miles. The cost is about $2.7 billion for those 8 miles. The department doesn't have $2.7 billion to allocate to one roadway. That's why that project is being done basically in relatively small construction sections to build those. Yeah. Because it's the amount of money that's available at a certain time.
It's all about the money.
It really drives the process. While Act 89 has been very beneficial, our transportation program that was passed in fall of 2013, went into effect 2014. That is generating by year 5, which was last year, $2.4 billion additional funding, which has been very beneficial. But the Transportation Funding Advisory Committee back in 2011 determined our needs at that time were $3.5 billion. So, while Act 89 was very beneficial, it didn't meet the need at that time. Now in 2020, the unmet funding need is estimated at $7.2 billion.
Wow.
So, that's the reality of the situation.
It is the reality, and I know the inconveniences out there. There's Route 1 right down Street Road is an inconvenience, and they're getting it done. I can see there's a lot being done there. But again, the rains that we have had, and extraordinary year. I mean, I was on the farm all my life, and if we'd had been farming this year, it would have been a disaster. So I've never seen this much rain.
We've had so many drainage issues and complaints about areas where they never complained before.
Here too. Oh, absolutely. We've had it here in the community. There's no question about it. And we try to address them all.
Sure, absolutely.
And I know you are. But Gene, I just want to take an opportunity to thank you for the cooperation, because if we call you, you're here. I mean, there's no question about it. I can't say that we get everything done 100% because obviously you can't. But you're responsive, and PennDOT has always worked with us, and
we will continue to, Mayor. And I just want to point out, just like I said, you have 65 miles of state highway. Between 2015 and 2018, 36 of those miles were resurfaced, over 50%. And after 2020, we should have another 10 miles done. So about 70% of the state highway system in Ben Salem at the end of 2020 is going to have relatively new fresh pavement. on it. So
right.
that's another positive.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but one of the areas that we work on here, try to get, we're looking for the future, Street Road and I-95. Can you give us anything on that? There's nothing on the boards, right?
No, I don't believe there's anything programmed at this time, Mayor. That would it would be incumbent upon the municipality, your township, and your constituents just to push the project.
And we are.
Yeah,
we
we
are.
continue to through the county planning
Yeah,
commission to.
Yeah.
Because obviously that has been a long talked about improvement.
Oh my goodness, we've been working with our state people.
Yeah.
Trying. It's a bear. It really is, and hopefully in the near future we can. We had some original surveying being done down there. We had a few years ago and ran out of money.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get that back on the project. But I know it's not one that's not on the tip. I believe it is now. We might have got it on the tip.
I'd have to check, Mayor.
Yeah.
I could certainly get back to you on that.
Yeah, but it's something that we're really working hard on to push it along. So.
And I want to point out that is not unusual. Like when a municipality such as yourself that is pushing a project that just may not have gotten onto the point of programming, because there's other projects throughout this region that have been similar situation.
And ahead of us, yeah.
Or just fighting the same battle as you are, because it's just so competitive.
I'm going to continue to fight that battle.
Okay, can I put one more improvement? But the Route 1 project, which I failed to mention, the street road interchange at Route 1 is going to be improved, in this project. And as part of the redesign of that interchange, you will have an eastbound street road on-ramp to southbound Route 1. Which you don't have right now.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah.
That's going to be a nice benefit once that job is completed.
Yeah. I often wonder, well, they got the roads done going into those, where there's a cycle place up there. And,
yes.
You can get in now off a street road. It should be better, I guess, when the highway's finally done.
Yes.
And that's where we have our land, our training centers back there.
Right. Again, that's cooperation, because the department, basically the access off northbound Route 1 is no longer, the motorcycle facility and the fireworks facility are no longer accessible. So now they'll be accessible off of Street Road. And there is signing in place directing motorists to those locations to exit northbound Route 1 on the Street Road and then make the left off Street. But it's going to take a little getting used to for customers who frequent those two businesses.
Well, I'll give you the last word. Whatever you'd like to bring up.
I just would like to let people know that, and your constituents know, that the Department of Transportation is made up of very dedicated men and women who are just work daily to try to improve the transportation system, not only here in southeastern Pennsylvania, across the state, Mayor. And I just thank you for giving PennDOT this opportunity to get information out to your viewers and your constituents.
Well, as things come up, I hope you'll get back to us, and we'll have another show and bring more news.
I'd welcome the opportunity.
All right. Gene, thank you so much.
Mayor, thank you for having me.
And God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Till next time, everybody, God bless.